let's get to Amfad. All My Friends Are Dead. In the horror thriller Amfad, All My Friends Are Dead, a group of college friends rent an Airbnb for the biggest musical festival of the year. A weekend of partying quickly takes a turn as the group is murdered one by one. Not a spoiler, I guess, if it's in the plot synopsis, according to their sin. So it's sort of like a Seven Deadly Sins meets a Coachella festival weekend with these college friends, and one by one, they are killed. Directed by Marcus Dunstan. Eric Holmes interviewed Marcus Dunstan this couple weeks ago. We're going to put it on our CinemAddicts feed this week as well. Stars Jade Pettyjohn and JoJo Siwa. Eric, your thoughts on this horror thriller? Amfad, All My Friends Are Dead.
This one was pretty good too. Spoiler alert: I haven't seen a bad movie this week, so
Okay.
I don't think we're talking about Deadpool. So it's great. But anywho, no, actually, Deadpool was fine. But anyway, with All My Friends Are Dead, it starts off as kind of like a stoner comedy, and then
Sure.
this is also one that has, I believe, it's got a 20-minute cold open, and there's been a lot of those lately. Where like you'll watch a
Sure.
movie and like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour into the movie, like then they'll start doing the titles, and it was like, oh, okay, cool, we're doing that. Yeah, it starts off as like a stoner comedy with a bunch of like internet influencers similar to us,
And they're all friends.
except they
They
actually
make,
influence people.
yeah, and they make
um
money. Yeah. And they're
yeah,
like
but
not poor
yeah,
like us.
yeah, like you said, they're going to like a Coachella sort of event, and then their van breaks down, and then so they end up staying at this place. And then when they get there, there's like all these shot glasses lined up. They're like the seven deadly sins kind of motif. And then at one point, about halfway through the movie, I thought this would have been a spoiler, but I mean, the movie's called All My Friends Are Dead, so I guess you can figure out that this is where it's going. But it comes so late that at least when I was watching, I was kind of lulled into, oh, this is a stoner comedy, and then about halfway through, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a serial killer movie, or a slasher movie, pretty much. And so the slasher is killing all the influencers based on their seven deadly sins. So it's got kind of a Saw vibe to it, or seven, all definitely a seven vibe because of the killer doing the seven deadly sins. It's a lot more jovial and fun than seven is, because seven's like dark and serious business. Saw is kind of over the top gross. This one definitely has some gory kills to it, but the gory
Sure.
kills are done in like a fun way. Like when you watch Saw, you kind of like your skin kind of crawls. It's like, kind of look away. This, when the kills happen, it's like, oh, fun, because it's like so over the top that it's not. It doesn't get under your skin the way a Saw movie does. But yeah, this
You know what I
is
liked about this?
what's
Sorry,
that?
Eric. I like like you said, the first 20 minutes is sort of, you get to meet the people. It's one of the superficial meet. It just sort of a teen comedy sort
Yeah,
of
they're all
vibe.
doing
And you
drugs, all having
right.
sex. Like, yeah,
And you've seen that before, and okay, they're waiting for things and then a couple of possible kills or disappearances happen, and it picks up. And then by the third act, we're not going to get into what happens, but I loved how Marcus Dunstan framed the third act when a lot of these things come together, and it just gets really crazy, and some really cool twists and turns towards the end that I thought was just completely bat-ish crazy stuff that goes on. And I thought the third act really brought the movie home for me. I don't know about you, Eric. Were you okay with it? Was it all just good
yeah,
throughout the whole thing?
yeah.
Yeah,
It just kept switching gears, and I was kind of in for all of
that's it.
it. I was talking,
Yeah.
I was talking with the director, and I didn't pick this up when I watched it, and I'm gonna have to go back and try this. I don't smoke weed really because I get too paranoid, and it's
Sure.
family show, so
Yeah,
weed
of
pulling
course.
weeds outside is just really hot outside. But Marcus was talking about watching this, and there's like certain points where you want to smoke weed because then it'll hit you at certain points. Like it was kind of like how Baby Driver was kind of put together specifically for the music. I think this was put together specifically for when to smoke weed and when not to.
Oh,
Or
okay. Yeah,
and
yeah, right.
so there's like you can watch the movie as it is, and I think it's really enjoyable. but apparently, like if you smoke weed, apparently there's a trick to where you smoke weed at. So it's kind of like sort of like a drinking game, but for marijuana. I want to try that because this feels like that kind of movie. And actually, just him saying that kind of clues you into what kind of movie you're in for. And if it sounds like something, if that sounds like something you'd be into, this is probably a great version of that.
You're going to hear this on Eric's interview with Marcus Dunstan, but well, I'll say it right now. He also mentioned, and this is something Eric and I did not do. He said to stay till the end credits. So I don't know if Eric and I still have that link, if that link is still live, but we did not stay till the end credits. There's supposedly something at the end credits. So if you decide to see Amfad, all my friends, hashtag Amfad, all my friends are dead in select theaters, on digital, and on demand August 2nd, please stay till the end credits per Marcus Dunstan's suggestions. Final thoughts for you, Eric, and rating.
I think I did go back and watch that, but I can't remember what it
Okay.
was now.
Okay.
But
My bad. My
but
bad
yeah,
on that.
you know what? I kind of want to go. I'm torn. On one hand, I want to go 3-star banger because this is kind of in that kind of wheelhouse.
Ilk. Sure.
But at the same time, like this is just a good movie. I think I'm gonna go 4.5 on this.
Four and a half. Yes. Wow,
But
Eric Holmes.
if you like stoner comedies and you like kind of over the top sort of slasher movies, this is a pretty good one. And also, it's from the director of
The Collector
Unhuman.
movies. Oh, Unhuman, right. Okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Collector. I haven't seen the Collector movies, but I saw Unhuman. I remember liking that. I think I like this one a lot more. That said,
Okay.
I do remember Bruce hating that movie, so I don't know how he's going to feel about this.
We
But
made sure not to give him the screener link for MFAT. All my friends are dead.
reg-
I left
reg-
him off.
well,
I don't have any.
then you can cut this part out. But either way,
No, I'm not gonna cut out. No, I'm not cutting this out. Bruce Perky. The reason why I didn't give you the link to hashtag AmFat, all my friends are dead, is neither me. I'm gonna throw Eric in the butt. I'm gonna throw Eric under the bus as well. We don't believe in you, Bruce Perky. Are you listening to us right now? We don't believe that you give these kind of movies a fair shake. How's that, Bruce? Huh?
there was a
You
bus in
agree?
Unhuman.
Right, there was a bus. No,
And Bruce was under
yeah.
it, so was I. We're like, no,
Well, Bruce,
this movie
wanna
is
check it out,
incredible
yeah.
amount of fun. I could, you know what? I could see some people because I know some people feel this way about certain characters, especially like their influencer type characters. I could see
No, I
people
got
watching
you.
this and just being completely annoyed by them, but
100%.
they're being set up to not
Right.
live.
There's a reason.
Spoiler
There's
alert,
a
in a
reason.
slasher movie,
Yeah.
people die. But yeah.
Right. Right. If you're annoyed by the first 20 minutes of AmFat, hashtag AmFat, all my friends are dead, there's a reason because Mark Dunstan is setting you up. And the cast and crew do a pretty good job in this movie. So if you're annoyed, don't worry. Allay those fears. I like the editing in this movie. I love the energy. And again, that third act for me really nailed it. Eric Holmes, what is Greg Srzyvosky's rating for AmFat?
4 stars.
4 stars it is. 4 stars for me. 4 stars. 4.5 stars for Eric Holmes. I apologize for that. 4.5 stars for Eric Holmes. 4 stars for me. Bruce, one of these days, please see AmFat. Tell us what you think of this movie as well, because you've already seen Unhuman. Again, directed by Marcus Dunstan.
Bruce and for 5 stars. Wow, Bruce gave it 5 stars.
Wow.
That was more than us. I'm
Oh,
surprised.
I hear
Bruce.
noise in your attic. I hear noise in your attic.
Keep it down.
Please. Okay. Hashtag AmFat. All my friends are dead. Check it out in theaters, on digital, and on demand, August 2nd, 2024. Jade Pettyjohn and JoJo Siwa are among the talented crew in the movie.